Greetings, gentle readers. You've just walked down the dark and musty hallway leading up to the vast and ominous comic book vault. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
Vince, today, what are we going to be looking at?
We are looking at Joker's Asylum, the Penguin, #1.
Written by Jason Aaron.
Indeed.
And drawn by Jason Pearson.
Yeah. They went out and found two guys named Jason. They said, they'll do.
You guys look like people who could write and draw the Penguin. Go ahead.
You guys named her Jason? That's like Cobblepot, right?
This was a Vince pick, and I hadn't read this before. Now, have you read most of the Joker's Asylum stuff?
I've only read one other one.
Okay, because I've not delved into this stuff at all. But now I want to. I loved this.
I heard good things about the whole series, and I bought the Two-Face one on a whim just to see if it was good. That was right when I was getting into Two-Face, and it was terrific. And we're not going to review the Two-Face one right now. We're going to review the Penguin one. So
this too was terrific, though.
Yeah.
This is the super sad and creepy story about the Penguin falling in love. Yeah. And it ends the only way a Penguin story can end, really.
Yeah, I don't think we should ruin that part.
Let's not actually go right out and ruin it, in case people want to try to find this on their own. Again, we're kind of picking and choosing which of these we're going to do spoilers on and which we're not, but
the conceit behind the whole series is that the Joker is essentially the Crypt Keeper. For those of you who remember what the Crypt Keeper is, he bookends the books. At the beginning, he says, "This is a story about the Penguin. Here you go." And there's usually a little goofy thing that the Joker does to begin with. Personally, I didn't really like the Joker in this one as the Crypt Keeper. I didn't really like the stuff that they did with the Two-Face one. But that's not the important part of the book.
No, I found it to be completely unmemorable.
Yeah.
The Joker part of this is not necessary. It seems like like you said, it's a conceit. It seems like it's pretty much just there so that we can have a random reason to have a bunch of one-shot stories about these characters and give and they're not origin stories. They're just a piece of their past. And I like that about it. I'm not sure the Joker's necessary. I don't see why we couldn't have just had a series of one-shots where we had a snippet of these characters' past.
I think it's about fostering interest. I think people see the word Joker in Asylum and
Absolutely
they think,
it is.
I want to read that. And then they pick it up and it's good and they're like, I want to read them all.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's just the umbrella title.
What's nice to me is that this is a vignette story with solid one-shots. It's hard to get a good, solid one-shot. You know what I mean?
It is, absolutely. Well, it's hard to tell a story in 22 pages.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that it's sort of like one-shot-itis, if you want to call it that. It's hard to have a beginning, a body, and a conclusion that's satisfying, that's not just rushing through and trying to jam like a 5-issue story into a 1-issue story.
Jason Aaron being the pro that he is, though, I mean, this is a short story about the Penguin. And this could easily have worked just fine as just a short story.
It doesn't feel too wordy, and it doesn't feel like it's absence of words. That's one of the things that I feel like a lot of one-shots are trying. When they try to cram so much into a single issue, they have to put lots of text bubbles in there and lots of things that say, we wanted to make this into a short story, basically.
Well, what helps is this is really minimalistic, and the idea is very simple. Less is definitely more in this case, and it simply is about about us seeing some of the humanity in the Penguin, and he has a choice to allow himself to become a little bit more human, and he doesn't take it. There's your story. That's it. And the twist of it is that it's not just some random girl he meets or some henchwoman that works for him or anything like that. It's a girl that he basically pulls out of a brothel, and I think basically, and he ends up hitting it off with her, and then she finds out that he does some terrible, terrible thing, and because he's the Penguin and he does terrible things, and he basically does this horrendous thing to a person just because he looks at him wrong. And then by the end, she doesn't want to be with him anymore, and well, that's the crux of it.
The coolest thing, or the coolest Penguin stories I've ever seen, are the ones where the Penguin's sort of on this comeback journey, where he's starting to come out of this this criminal mind that he's been in. And there was a Batman animated episode of that thing that I thought was terrific.
Yes.
And this one, it's not. Which
I neglected to mention on my top 10. I got to throw that out there really quick because some people were like, "Well, you said there's no good Penguin episodes," and that I don't think it's top 10 material, but yeah, it's the good Penguin episode.
It's a very solid, and this I think is even better for me because the Penguin, it's not just a brothel, it's a white slavery ring. These girls are literally prisoners and forced to do this. It's not like, well, I don't really have a good choice of a career because I like to have sex, that's what I'm going to go do, so I'm going to go be a call girl at a brothel.
Yeah.
This is a person who is a prisoner.
Yeah, that's right.
And the Penguin saves her, essentially. She says, oh, so you bought me? And he says, no, I rescued you.
Yeah, that's right.
He just saw her as...
And that's important, because he's a hero for a minute.
Yeah. And I think he just revels in the idea. Like, there's even a scene where Batman's coming up and fighting his henchman while the Penguin is relaxing and just reveling in the idea that somebody loves him.
That's right.
For something that he did.
That was my favorite part. That was a cool scene.
It's interesting to see just how evil he is by nature and how good he is by nature at the same time. This is a guy who is very conflicted about what he really wants.
And I think the art really reflects that. I like how twisted the art is. It's creepy. It's really unrealistic. Everything is exaggerated.
I agree. You know what I think it is about the Penguin that's... it's not so much that he doesn't want to be good. I think it's that he's found that over the years he gets a stronger reaction from people when he's evil. He gets what he wants more often when he's evil.
Well, but there's also an insecurity about him.
Yeah.
And I think that's present here. And of course, part of the reason I wanted to do this is because of the current Penguin mini going on with Penguin Pain and Prejudice is what it's called. And there's a lot of that there, too. That's it actually delves into the Penguin's origin, which this is not about. But this and that both are somewhat about his insecurities and how he's overcompensating by being evil.
Because there's some point where when you hear laughter, and that's what it is for the Penguin. And actually, they had this in Anansi Boys, the Neil Gaiman story, where a character says, "There's laughing." And it's at me. I don't care if somebody just told a funny joke. I don't care if something really funny or there's something joyful happening. It's at my expense if it's near me.
And that's really important because the Penguin's not even sure that it was directed at him.
Yeah.
And he ruins this guy anyway.
Yeah, there's a guy in the story that laughs and he just ruins this man's life because of it. And he doesn't just kill the man, he ruins his life. Mm-hmm. And how he does it is very frightening to me. And I think Jason Aaron really picks up how cruel, or just what, like, the essence of cruelty is. Mm-hmm. And it's not about killing people or getting revenge. It's about like severely overcompensating.
Honestly, made me want to see Aaron do more Batman. Vince, let's go ahead and go on to a trivia question. The trivia question from last time was, who was possessed by Venom in a recent What If issue? The correct answer there was, of course, Deadpool, and that was given to us by Chris the Bliss. Chris the Bliss was the first person who got that right, so good job to you, and you win me listing your name right there.
Good job!
Good job. And Vince, what is the trivia question for this week?
The trivia question for this week is, in what episode of Batman the Animated Series does the Penguin steal the Batmobile?
That's right. That happens in other things too. But in specifically what episode of the animated series does that happen? Here is your hint. Here's your hint, and if you think you know it, leave that in the comments, and we will mention the first person who got it right on next week's episode of the Comic Book Vault. Hey, Vince, did you know that the Comic Book Vault is a vast, wonderful, wintry wonderland of comic books that can be both donated to and bought from? Did you know that?
This is true.
Did you know that you can go to wearegeeksnotnerds.com
and click on Comic Vault?
The Comic Vault. And you can see what eBay ads we have there. You can also donate stuff to the Comic Book Vault by sending something to our P.O. Box. That's Geekvolution, P.O. Box 14183, Lenexa, Kansas 66285. And if you've got something that you think we might be interested in purchasing, feel free to send us a personal message and we'll take a look at it. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
We'll see you next time.